Hi there. Here we're going to talk about how does it work? Force and motion in action. You're going to have a challenge. How can you design a game to show objects in motion? So I have an idea that I'm going to share with you, and then I can't wait to see what you're going to do. First, we have to learn a bit about force and motion. We're going to talk about Sir Isaac Newton's laws of motion. Here you can think about this graphic organizer. If you want to print it out, you might take some notes. These are 6 terms we're going to talk about as I show you the game that I designed, and then see if you can use these terms when you describe the game that you're going to design. So we have force, inertia, mass, acceleration, friction, and gravity. So force, everything moves because of force. Force causes objects to start moving or stop moving. Use force when you push or pull an object. So this is the game that I designed. I love cardboard and recyclable materials. So you can see here I have a start right there. That's where you're going to begin the game. And then I'm going to put one of these objects, a pom-pom, a ball, or a bottle cap on the start. And then I've used some sort of force. I'm thinking about either maybe a spoon I might try, or this is a push tool. It's a popsicle stick and a piece of cardboard that I can use to push the objects, or a straw for a wind force. So the force is either going to be me pushing it or a straw blowing it to get the objects to move. So then you have Newton's first law of motion. This is about inertia. So it says an object will not change its motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. So if an object is at rest, it will stay at rest. If it's in motion, it will remain at the same velocity. So you could see here, this object right here, it's on the start. Unless I apply force, it is just going to stay on the start. It is not going to move. Then when I use my push tool down there, I pushed the object and it kept moving. It might hit these bumpers that would cause it to change direction. It's a different sort of force pushing back against it. Here you can see, though, it stopped. It did not go straight through as it was expected to do. That's because there's other forces that are acting upon it. We're going to learn about those other forces now. So the goal of my game is to use a force to get through these bumpers, to not go out, and I want to get it up this ramp you'll see and into the end. So I have to use force to keep moving it along. The second law of motion, though, is saying that if you're applying force, the more force you apply, the faster it accelerates. So that's if the same mass. So if I apply with this pom-pom, if I use the push tool and I do just a little bit, it'll go. But if I give a lot of force, that same pom-pom is going to go very far. This is what I thought was really interesting. If you have a small mass, a little push is going to make it accelerate very fast. But a large mass, something that has more mass, like the bottle cap compared to the pom-pom, or the ball compared to the pom-pom, has greater mass, then with the same force, it's not going to go quite as far. It reminded me of like a swing. When people are sitting on the swing, if you have one person that has just a little bit of mass, you give them a push, they might go very fast. But if somebody is bigger and has a lot more mass, you give them that same push, they don't go quite as far. So this is making me think, I wonder what sort of object in terms of mass I want to use. And then I'm thinking, which of these tools helps me to control my force the best? The other piece is that friction. So when I pushed my object and it ended up over here and didn't go out, that was because of friction. So if you slide down like this guy is sliding down the hill here, it's very smooth. There's not much friction. When two objects rub against each other, that causes friction. But here there's not much friction. He's able to go very fast. This one trying to slide down a grassy hill, much more friction. Just like on my cardboard, there was great friction that slowed it down. If I had a smoother surface, then it might, the cap or the ball might go very quickly. You'll see later the ball, because it's so round, it glides very easily over the cardboard surface. So there's not as much friction. So friction was something I had to take into account when I was developing my game. The other thing was gravity. And the gravity is the force that makes things fall to the ground. So you can see why an apple falls to the ground. Here, I had a slight incline. You can see I put this cardboard up a bit so that the gravity would slow it down. So it would be a little bit more of a challenge to get it in this finish line there. So that's gravity acting upon it. Now I'm going to show you my game design so you can see all of these ideas in action. See if you can hear for when I talk about the different forces that we just learned about, or at times when you could even explain it better than I did. Let's see. Show you the game that I invented. Let's see how it works. First, I'm going to try to move this cap. Now it's not moving. I'm applying no force to it. Let's see if I try this. Moves a little bit, but not too much. I'm going to try the ball. That's moving better, but it's a little tough to control. Let's try this. Oh, that moved very fast, but almost too fast. I think I'm going to try a different tool. The wind power is a little bit too much. I'm going to try my push tool here. Let's see if I put the pom-pom there and then I push. Oh, that went well, but it didn't have quite enough mass. It went so fast it was tough to control. Let's see, I'm going to try this. Oh, that rolls very fast. There's not much friction because it's so smooth. It went right over, but it went out. I'm going to try the cap now. Let's see. So this, I apply my force. Friction is stopping it. The bumpers, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's tough. The gravity makes it roll down. I'm going to try again. Keep going. See if I can get it through. And into the finish. I did it. I think the best tool I'm going to use is my push tool and the cap. Thank you. So now you can see that I talked about all the different forces as I designed my game. What game are you going to design? Can you take recycled materials, anything you find at home, design a cardboard game to put what you learned about forces to work? So below, you'll see click the green plus button to record a video describing your game. You can show it in action. Try to use at least 3 terms you learned about. We can't wait to see your projects. You can also comment on other people's projects that you see here. Thanks again.